So we're back for Objective 1A's testing video. So again, you can cross-reference the specific test cases with the actual written Word document. So Objective 1A states the password should meet strict password strength criteria for security purposes. So I'm going to start up the locally hosted server again. And the first test case is to sign up using a password which is too short and output, and we should be expecting that to output the correct error message with the intended failed condition list as per the design section. Let's go back to sign up. So the test case has the password as being ABC123 with an exclamation mark and a capital A. If I copy and paste, you can see that these are the same. And we can see that we've returned the correct error condition. Password must be at least 12 characters long. And you can see that all the other conditions were met, that there was at least one lowercase letter, at least one capital letter, at least one number, and at least one special character. And the failed condition was that the password needed to be less than 12 characters long. And that was the only failed condition that was returned. So the error message was successful. Now, for each of these tests, let's go back to the database and just make sure that a new user has been added to the user table. And you can see over here that Avnash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 has not been added to the user table. Yeah. Okay, and that's the first test case. Now the second one is to sign up using a password of no capital letter, but with all the other conditions being met. So this test base is going to be my password 123 exclamation mark all lowercase. Actually, just so you can see that, I'm going to type it in on Notepad and copy and paste it in. Copy. You can see my clipboard. We can see that the correct error condition has been returned. That password must contain at least one capital letter. Now, if you look at this, it's more than 12 characters long. It has at least one lowercase letter, one number, and a special character. And the only condition it didn't meet was that there wasn't a capital letter, and that was the only condition that was returned, meaning we had the right error message. Now let's go back to the database and make sure that a new row has been added to the user table. As you can see, Avanash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 has not been added to the user table. So that means the second test case has been paused. Let's move on to the third one now. Okay, so the third test case is to test a password where there is no lowercase letter but all other conditions are met. So the test case for this one is going to be the same one as before, but my password is now going to be in all caps. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste and see my clipboard. Let's try that. As you can see, the correct error condition was met, returned. Password must contain at least one lowercase letter, and you can see over here that it's more than 12 characters long. It's got at least one number, at least one capital letter, and at least one special character. So we've got the right error message. Now let's go back to the database and make sure a new row has been added to the user table. As you can see, user table looks exactly the same as it did before. Okay, so that is the third test case. Let's move on to what's this? It's the fourth test case now. So for this test case, we're going to be signing up using a password with no special characters in it. It's going to be my password 12345. As you can see, the correct error condition has been returned. Passwords more than 12 characters long, has a capital letter, has plenty of lowercase letters, and has a bunch of numbers. So the only condition that wasn't met was that it didn't have a special character in it, and that was the error condition which was returned. Now let's go back to the database and make sure the user table hasn't changed. And it looks exactly the same. So test case number 4 has been passed. Let's move on to test case number 5. So for this one, we're going to be testing a password with no capital letters, special characters, or numbers, and is completely lowercase letters. So it's going to be, this is a terrible password. Copy that and paste it in. Sorry. So we can see that the error conditions returned in the error message were that it didn't have any numerical digits in it, didn't have any capital letters, and it needed to contain at least one special character. You can see that the conditions it did meet were that it was more than 12 characters and it has plenty of lowercase letters. So that we can conclude that the error message has returned the correct conditions. So to conclude the test case, let's just check that the user table has not been altered. Well, we can see that the user table looks exactly the same. Okay, let's move on to the final test case for this video. So for this one, we're going to be using a password that meets all validation criteria. And it's going to be hello world at 123 exclamation mark. Now we have a success message and we've been redirected to the sign in page. Now, if we double check the database, Avalanche 123456789 has joined the user table with the same conditions that we entered. And we can even take this further by, let's just save that. the sign-in worked. So that finishes up this test case, and that completes Objective 1A's test video. And obviously you can cross-reference all these test cases with the Word document. All test cases were passed.